All right, surprise, surprise. I'm going to give you a movie review of The Roadhouse, which is a remake of the 1989 version, which had Patrick Swayze. Now, I'll tell you, I've not watched that movie, and I don't think it was so popular, although it has a 6.7 rating out of 10 on IMDb. Okay, so, but this one, the reason why it caught my attention is there are three reasons. The first reason is the director. The director's name is Doug Liman. When I found out he's directing the movie, I was like, bloody hell. This guy, he has directed two of my favorite movies. One is The Bourne Identity 2002, starring Matt Damon, which is such a rewatchable movie. I've watched that movie, I think 7, 8 times. I don't know. I've watched the whole Bourne Identity series, the whole franchise. And what made Bourne Identity so unique was the way the camera moved for the action sequence, which was never done before. It was very unique. You need to see it to understand what I'm saying. The camera moves with the fighters and it really involves you. It's like as if you're fighting compared to having a long shot. So in this, it was like you could actually feel that you're fighting. You could feel the pressure, the realism, when they stab, you really feel it. So, and the storyline, the characterization, everything was perfect. And the second movie was Edge of Tomorrow. Oh goodness, that movie, it was more like Groundhog's Day, where the hero has to live the same day over and over again. I've seen it so many times, I'm still ready to watch it. It's that good. It's a 2014 movie starring Emily Blunt and Tom Cruise. Okay. So one, he was the main reason. He has also directed other movies which have done well, but I've not liked them so much, like Mr. and Mrs. Smith, 2005, where Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie actually got into an affair, even though they both had other couples. They were in a relationship. Jumper, 2008, American Made to 2017, Swingers, 1996, Go, 1999. Okay, so one was the director. The second reason is Jake Gyllenhaal. Oh goodness, he's one of my favorite actors. I've seen his movies. He really puts himself. You can really feel the suspense and the thriller when you see this guy act. Some of his highly recommended movies is Donnie Darko, 2001, Brokeback Mountain, where he plays a gay guy and gay cowboy. I have to still see it. 2005, he won multiple awards for this. Then, one second, Source Code 2011, Zodiac 2007. Unbelievable. His performance was world class. And Spider-Man Far Away From Home, where he plays as a villain, it really garnered box office smash hit. It was one of the best. So, these two. But then the icing on the cake was when I found out Conor McGregor, one of the most controversial, highly acclaimed money box office attraction of MMA world, which I'm a big fan of UFC. He was having his debut feature in this movie. So I was like, I need to watch this. To be honest with you, I really didn't have expectations for this movie, especially with Conor McGregor. I thought it would be a massive flop. I looked at it as a cash grab. So I had very low expectations. In fact, I was not even sure whether I'll be able to see it. I thought it would be a flop. Okay, I thought it would be as bad as Black Adams or some B shit kind of a movie. But to my shock and surprise, this movie was like, when your expectations are so low and it goes way beyond, it's like, wow. And to my surprise, I'm a guy, I cannot finish a movie at one go. It takes a lot of effort. I was able to watch this movie while doing other things, and I managed to watch the whole thing, which I was very surprised. I was, checking mails and doing other things, but I still managed to watch this movie, and it was entertaining. It was silly. It was stupid. You really have to throw out you need to have a sense of disbelief. You should not take this movie seriously, because there are a lot of scenes which I'll explain to you in the spoiler, which make this movie like if you take it seriously, you'll not enjoy it. So now I'll give you the plot. I'll just summarize it and I'll give you key points. I'll not give you the exact story. The key points that I really liked in this movie. One was the first fighting scene had Post Malone, who is, the most gentlest singer. He is a very gentle person. He was shown as a fighter who fights with his knuckles and blood and all that comes out. So I found it so funny. I was like, come on. And he did it very well. Huh? He showed himself as really a bloodthirsty fighter. So that was one. Jake Gyllenhaal came across, his physique was ripped. He is definitely taking steroids, but his body was amazing. Another thing was part of the movie, which had the storyline of Jake Gyllenhaal being a UFC fighter, was actually shot in a live event. And this actually happened at one of the old fights which I seen. And, nobody knew that during the weigh-ins, when they take the weight, that these actors would come pretending to be fighters. So you're watching the weigh-ins and all of a sudden Conor McGregor comes. And when Conor McGregor comes, the audience and everyone goes crazy and they were shocked. He's not in the fight card. Why is he here? And then next thing, he used his charisma, he used his fan following, he used the hype that he always has to make the audience go crazy. And he said, we are going to do a movie shooting, so I want you to shout and scream and all that. And then Jake Gyllenhaal comes, and when he showed his physique, it's like, whoa, bloody hell. And everyone pretended as if it was actually him fighting. They did a little bit of acting where he was slapping another guy. And then they actually, during the fight, they had Jake Gyllenhaal come out. They announced him, the Bruce Buffer, who is the main announcer, he announced him as a fighter. The audience was playing along, and all this was recorded and shown in the movie. So it was really nice to see all this as a UFC fighter, UFC fan. So this part was also there. But I'll tell you, his physique was amazing. Conor McGregor's physique was amazing, but it was puffy. It looked like he tried to get big too fast. And I'm aware of the steroids people use. So I know for a fact he used a water-retaining steroid. So he would look big, but he didn't have the cuts, the six-pack abs like Jake Gyllenhaal had. The storyline, it's very simple. There is a kind of a mafia, or I don't know, a kind of a bad guy villain who's very rich. He owns the town, he owns the plot of land, everything. But this pub that is there, it's called the Roadhouse. It is in the middle of his property development, and he can't start the development until this bar is removed. So he wants this pub, Roadhouse, destroyed. That's the central theme. So he is a fighter. Then that is where the lady, the owner of that Roadhouse, meets him, requests him, come be a bouncer. I'll pay you very big money. Fine. He finally agrees. First he says no, he agrees. And that is where Conor McGregor is introduced at nearly half the movie. It's, I think, at the 54th minute. After 54 minutes, nearly 1 hour after the movie, Conor McGregor comes. And that is the part which everyone wanted to see. Now, the fights with Conor, pretty good. I like the way the director moved the camera and all that. But the acting of Conor McGregor was slightly exaggerated. He wanted to be the Joker of Batman, like, the psychotic guy. More of the latest Batman, he wanted to be like that. But like Jared Leto, laughing and all that. But I felt it was too exaggerated. In fact, when he was walking, he was always walking like this, and he was he going like this. It was a bit of a put off. And this is a funny bit. They actually show Conor McGregor, the first scene, I think he jumps out of a prostitute's house or something. He's naked. And the camera shows him butt naked from his ass, walking for a long shot. So that was really, I was like, what is the fascination with showing his butt? Like, what are you trying to prove? And he walks in a crowded shopping area or something like that, where people are selling, on the streets and all that. Okay, so the fight scene is kind of crazy. And towards the end, it really picks up a notch. I really didn't expect the ending to be so crazy. The action is really violent, pretty graphic, I would say. I didn't expect it to be so brutal. Yes, there are some comedy bits here and there, some in-between spoken lines when they're fighting with each other. but it gets graphic towards the way the Conor McGregor dies and the stabbing and all that with sharp pieces of wood and all that. So it was pretty brutal, and I really admired the production value because they actually showed the ending scene on a boat, luxury yacht, which actually sinks, an explosion and all that. So that was really done well. So, by the way, after the credit scenes roll, you think the movie is over, but then in a surprise twist, mid-credit, Conor McGregor has not died. He's in the hospital. He bashes up everyone and he walks out. Everyone's bleeding and all that. And as he's walking out, once again, they show him walking with a butt shot. He's wearing the hospital gown, right? So behind is just, you just tie things. So you can see his butt once again. So I was like, what is the fascination with his ass, man? So that part was there. Overall, if I were to summarize, I would say, given the fact that I expected this to be a massive flop, it turned out to be much better than what I expected. Very entertaining for someone who likes action-related movies, blood and gore. One very violent movie, Sufu or something was there. It's like pretty hardcore. If you are someone who likes action, who's ready to throw out, like live with disbelief and know that you don't take it seriously, you just want something to munch popcorn and just watch and enjoy, this is pretty much it. In fact, for me, I find it impossible to watch movies at one stretch unless they are a masterpiece. I actually watched this movie while doing other work, and I was able to actually see through the whole thing. I had to take 2 breaks in between because I was doing other things. But overall, the movie was like, wow. I was seriously impressed. I was impressed with Conor McGregor because it's his first movie. Yes, he's overacting. I don't think he's going to get many serious roles because he doesn't know how to act. But yeah, as an action figure, as a villain, he can do crazy stuff. The entire movie is on the shoulders of Jake Gyllenhaal. He was the reason why this movie would succeed and would do well. The subplots of the love story and everything else, that was just to kill time and fill things. But the director did a very good job. I was impressed. Given the fact that I expected this to be like a B-grade movie, I was impressed. I would give this movie a 6.5. Or if you're an action buff, maybe 7. But it's worth a watch, one-time watch. But entertainment, just to kill time, sit with all your friends, laugh, scream, shout, and just watch it. And especially the ending scene, which is pretty brutal. Rest of the other scenes are on YouTube, you can make out. But some of them are really silly, I'll tell you that, really silly. Like when people are fighting and the band is still playing, it's like, what the fuck are you guys doing here? It doesn't look real. But overall, it's a good movie, and I would say I enjoyed it. So this was my movie review, and this is the reason I watched it. Let me know what are your thoughts, and if there are worthwhile movies like this, which really catch my fancy and which really deserve a dedicated video, I'll definitely share my thoughts with you. Good, bad, ugly, feel free, comment down below. Have you watched it? Let me know your thoughts. What did you think of Jake Gyllenhaal? What did you think of Conor McGregor's acting? And what did you think of the movie as a whole? Having said that, good, bad, ugly, let me know your thoughts. This is me signing off. Bye.